Hi everybody, and welcome to Mr. Stansfield's educational videos. Today we're going to be taking a look at light and shadow. Of course, if you look at the word photography, it's made up of two parts, photography. And if you look at the origins of the Greek word, you find that the word photography means writing with light. And so you can approach this a few ways. You could take pictures of light, here in this case the sun, or if you're looking at light and shadow, you can think about where there is an absence of light. We're going to go through this slideshow pretty quickly, and then I'll go over the assignment and what I'm expecting from you. So you'll notice as we go through these that a lot of these images would be excellent shape, line, texture pictures. But somehow they're incorporating shape, line, texture through light and shadow. So one question that you're going to want to start with, and let's just go back to this image real quick, is what kind of light creates a really defined shadow? Go ahead and write that question down. We're going to come back to it. So once again, what kind of light creates a really defined shadow? And like in this case, if you can see the mouse, hopefully you can, the shadow here on the floor coming from the window, through the window pane, that's a really clear outline of that window pane on the ground and then here on the other side of the room. Or taking a picture directly of some kind of light here. Wonderful light makes wonderful photographs. And you could take an approach with a still life. You could try walking around and trying to find interesting light somewhere around your house, out in your neighborhood. You could try to set something up. And while you're composing the image, try to think about this assignment, light and shadow. The photographer who took this picture could have really easily taken a picture of these two people walking on the beach, but they chose to focus on the shadow. This is where this assignment really would be a great light and shadow picture. And if they took a picture of the people, it probably would have been pretty interesting, but I think this is better for this assignment. Of course, we have artificial light and light bulbs, and a whole bunch of different kinds of light bulbs. And here the photographer is thinking about the background and having a really blurry, out of focus, narrow depth of field, and incorporating that into their subject. Really well done. It's not a picture of a bench so much as it's a picture of the shadow. Just in the same way that shape, line, texture, we were focusing on those three things rather than the subjects themselves. Here we see that the subject, yes, we can tell it's a bench. It's not that we don't know it's a bench. It's that that shadow is a really interesting shape. It really completes the composition. Can you shoot people? Definitely. Just like with shape, line, texture, though, we talked a little bit about how if you take a picture of a person, sometimes the features, or if you can sort of see a person, oftentimes that distracts from some of these other compositional elements like shape, line, texture, and light and shadow. All right, so let's get back to that question that I had you write down. What kind of light creates defined shadows? Let's go back to this one here. So the answer would be sunlight. Definitely creates defined shadows. On a cloudy day, it's hard to see your shadow. Some kind of interior light. If you have, one of the ways you can think about it is a single light source. A single light source will give you a defined shadow. So if you've got a cloudy, rainy day or something like that and you've got to shoot this assignment, maybe try shooting it inside. Maybe you should try shooting it with a single light source. Turn off all of the lights except for one. Of course, if you're shooting inside with a single light, or maybe you're trying to get that candle shot that we looked at before, you're probably going to need a tripod or to stabilize the camera somehow. So definitely recommend trying to get out on a sunny day to shoot this, trying to find interesting shadows, maybe late in the day. This picture right here is probably taken pretty close to sunset, and I think you can get some really good results this way. Of course, you could try to get out and think about the moon, and shooting at night actually creates some really, really interesting results. This image was taken probably over several minutes, and the water on the bottom of the screen gets really blurry over those minutes, maybe even 10 or 20 minutes. It could be as long as that. And the clouds blur, and you can see the moon in here. Pretty spectacular shot, and there's a lot that you can do, really cool things that you can do at night. Again, you're going to need a tripod, you're going to need to stabilize the camera. If it moves at all, the picture won't look good. So I think this is a really great image that demonstrates how you can take light and shadow and make a portrait and have it not be about that person, but really be about the light and the shadow. One more note about shooting. Your light meter, we've stressed all semester, and should be in the middle or be green. You want to make sure that the light meter is telling you that it's correctly exposed. I would say almost all of the pictures that we're looking at right now, the photographer deviated from that. So they did not have the light meter be in the middle. They perhaps, if they were shooting digitally, they took a picture and then reviewed it and then made an adjustment to the light meter, or they were bracketing, trying a picture that was underexposed, maybe in the middle and then overexposed. Basically, with light and shadow, the extremes are usually pretty significant between the light. The contrast between the light and the dark is really significant. And so the light meter is just not really going to be able to get the image that you're looking for most of the time. So you're really going to have to maybe try a -1, -2, +1, +2, really try to vary and see how the final picture comes out. It still needs to be exposed correctly. None of these pictures are underexposed or overexposed. They're all correctly exposed, but the light meter is easily fooled. All right, let's talk about your assignment. So you're going to be shooting digitally for this light and shadow assignment. You're going to shoot 50 images. I would say that's probably a safe number. I would say, what we're really looking for is a selection of 10 to 20 really excellent images, and 50 or more, 100, 200 photos would be really easy if you went out and spent an hour, hour and a half shooting this assignment. And we're looking for your subject to be light and shadow. The images should be sharp and well exposed. Again, to get a well exposed light and shadow image, you may actually have to adjust your light meter to be minus or plus. Close to the middle, but not quite in the middle. And then that's really it. We're going to probably have about a week to do this. We'll talk about it next class. We can talk a little bit more about due dates, but you're really looking at just trying to shoot this image, shoot this assignment, shoot as many pictures as you can, come in, have a chance to edit, and we can definitely make some adjustments in Photoshop. We can adjust the contrast, we can adjust, you can make your picture black and white. All of these images are black and white, but I want you to be thinking about shooting in color. I don't want you to be shooting in black and white. We can always convert to black and white later, but you can never make an image black and white. You can never make a black and white image color if you capture it in black and white. All images should be sharp, focused, exposed correctly. This might mean that the light meter is off. Light and shadow should be central to the image. It could be any subject. Keep it simple. Think about shape, line, texture, and sort of really keeping it simple. You can use Mr. Stansfield's Snappity Snap photo checklist here, and of course should include thoughtful composition. So let's maybe finish up this A couple of more examples here, and then that's it. A lot of these incorporate abstract design. So this is something we started talking about with our very first assignment. And I want you to continue to think about using abstract design. This image is not so abstract, but there's light and shadow, and it's kind of following leading lines and rule of thirds. It's a good shot. This image, definitely abstract. Like, what is it? I think it's maybe a salad strainer or something like that, but I'm not 100% sure. But this is a really creative, interesting, abstract image. Less interested in this. Fine. It's fine. It's good for, good for the assignment. This image really doing what we want to be doing in this project. This is an image definitely the photographer really had to adjust the light meter to get this to look right. This would be a really tricky shot to get, believe it or not. It looks simple, it is a simple picture, but to get the light this way and to get the image to be exposed this way, definitely not easy to do.